Thank you.
Well, let's go back to the confirmations today, because that was big news. There was a lot of big news today. But both confirmations coming after months of stalling by the Democrats. President Trump weighing in on all that this morning. Take a listen.
The Democrats are obstructionists. It's horrible what they're doing. They're not approving people. They're taking them out to the maximum 30 hours. That's a lot of time, 30 hours, to interview people that are going to be approved. I mean, they go 30 hours and then people all vote. And it's a disgrace.
Joining me now is Karl Rove, former senior advisor to President George W. Bush and a Fox News contributor. So, Karl, are Democrats going to take a political hit for this obstructionism in November?
Well, probably not much of a hit, but it really is bad for the country. There are two ways they're obstructing. One is when President Trump sends forward nominees, they're slow rolling those nominees by asking lots of questions, demanding lots of paperwork, and inside the committees, slowing up the committee work. And then when they get ready to come to the floor, one member of the Senate can invoke a rule that requires that up to 30 hours be spent debating the nominee before he or she is brought to a vote. One member can do that.
I know, it's
and
extraordinary.
So what the Democrats have been the Democrats have been doing that, not just in cases where they deserve to be debated, but in all instances, or virtually all instances. As a result, if you take a look at it, how long is it taking for President Trump's nominees to be confirmed? Under President Bush, it took 44 days. And remember, the Senate back then was controlled for most of the first 2 years of Bush's time in office by the Democrats, but it took 44 days. Under President Obama, 65. Under President Trump, 85. So if you think about this, if all of the people, 900 and some odd nominees that require Senate confirmation, plus the normal complement of judicial nominations, and if they invoke the 30-hour rule on all of them, it would take 9 years before they could clear the calendar.
I'm going to stop you right there.
I'm
going to stop you right there, because what you were doing is focusing on a statistic. The voters don't focus on statistics. They focus on individuals. You know that famous saying, a million people killed is a stat, one person killed is a tragedy. When you look at Mike Pompeo specifically, here is a guy who is literally changing the course of history by what he's doing just as a nominee. And they were willing to obstruct his appointment as Secretary of State. Thankfully, he was confirmed, but they were willing to go the distance to keep a guy out who's actually done more as a nominee than his predecessors have done as Secretaries of State.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because it has been a tradition in our country that a president is due deference on his cabinet nominees, regardless of who that president is, unless that nominee has somehow got something in their background that is disqualifying for office. They've got a scandal, they've got extreme views, they've said something that needs to be held to account. For example, Hillary Clinton. There were two votes against Hillary Clinton's nomination as Secretary of State. Against John Kerry,
3 against
Kerry.
Kerry.
At the height of the Iraq War. At the height of the Iraq War in 2005, there were only 13 votes against Condi Rice. And the Democrats, almost to a person, if you were not up for election this year in a red state and you were a Democrat, you voted against Mike Pompeo.
But it is,
that is
I believe,
wrong for
again,
our country
it's Mike
and wrong
Pompeo.
For the
it is Mike Pompeo that is making this issue one that will resonate in November, because it is clear that Democrats were putting politics above national security. He is actually going the distance and changing history with North Korea, or at least attempting to do so, and we're on that road, and they were willing to put their political gain above that. I got to ask you very quickly, though, switching gears, because they're giving me a wrap, on what the president said on Fox and Friends, or the way in which he said it on Fox and Friends this morning. I don't know if you saw the whole interview, but it was quite extraordinary how unleashed he was in coming out with his rage. What did you think?
Well, look, he's got strong opinions. I wish he had not made the comments that he made about the Mueller investigation. I think at the end of the day, the Mueller investigation is going to show there was no effort on behalf of President Trump or the people close around him to conspire or collude with the Russians, and this will be the best confirmation of what the president has been saying all along. And the sort of semi-threat this morning that he might try and pull the rug out from underneath the investigation was, in my opinion, not good. But look, this has got the president spun up on these nominations. And I don't blame him, because this is bad for the country and it is irresponsible. 65 members of the Senate last year voted to confirm Mike Pompeo as CIA chief. Today we had, what, 51, 52? This is really...
Well, and the
really,
bottom line is... You're innocent until proven guilty. Accusations are not proof of guilt. That's what this country is built on, our justice system,
Well,
and that's
not only
being
that,
turned around. Quickly, go ahead.
But not only that, but look, Ronnie Jackson, I knew him when he was at the White House under President Bush, a man of extraordinary character. And for for John Tester of Montana to have tried to torpedo this with unconfirmed, anonymous allegations tossed out into the mainstream, tossed out into the press, was really reprehensible.
You're getting riled up as well. Karl Rove, great to see you.
Lots of riling.
Thank you very much.